Here is a physics problem. There is a pulley hanging from the ceiling, and the pulley has a mass, but it has no rotational mass. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. And it has two masses hanging from it, a 1.5 kilogram mass on the left and a 0.5 kilogram mass on the right, and it's released from rest. So question 1, what's the tension in this string? Question 2, what's the force needed to keep the whole thing onto the ceiling? Pretty good, huh? Okay, let's deal with the tension in the string first. I drew the picture and I wrote down everything that we have. So you want to think, what kind of problem is this? Well, we have torque and equilibrium. It's not going to be a torque in equilibrium. We have kinematics. We don't really care about change in position or anything like that. We have work energy. Technically, you might be able to do this with the work energy, but I'm not sure. I think you probably could. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to use Newton's second law. So Newton's second law says that the net force on an object is equal to mass times acceleration. And so if we just deal with the tension in the string, it doesn't really matter about the pulley right now. The tension in the string is interacting with both of these objects. So what I want to do is to draw a force diagram for both objects and then write down a Newton's second law for both objects. Because the two objects have two things in common. They have the same magnitude of tension and they have to have the same magnitude of acceleration. If this one had a greater acceleration than that one, then the string would get longer and it'd break. And so that's not going to be a possible thing that we can deal with. So those are the two things that two things have in common. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So let's draw a force diagram for this mass right here. So here's my block. I know I have a downward gravitational force. Let's call this M1 for now. And let's call this M2. M1G. I also know that there is a tension pulling up on it. Now, do you know right there which one of those is going to be greater? You should be able to think about it, right? I know that this is a more massive object, and it's going to accelerate down. And if I go over here and I say, well, that mass is accelerating down, then the net force down has to be greater than the net force up, right? The force is mass times acceleration. So I kind of drew it that way. Now, if you got that wrong, it's going to come out at the end. I'm going to call this the y direction. So I can say F net in the y direction is the tension minus M1G, and that's going to be equal to the mass times acceleration. And let's assume it's accelerating down like we said. So I'm going to write this as negative M1A. Now, if I do the same thing for the other mass, let's put it over here. I have M2G pulling down and T up. And again, I'll call that the y direction. So for that one, F net in the y direction is going to be T minus M2G. And I'm going to assume it accelerates up. M2A. So now I have two equations, two unknowns. I don't know T, I don't know A. I don't know T, I don't know A. How do we deal with this? Now there's a couple tricks you could use. Whenever in doubt, solve this for T and plug it in down here. Here you could also do something like subtract the equations. And I'm going to do that just because I think it's fun. You can do that as long as you do the same thing to both sides of the equations. So if I subtract this from that side, and I subtract this from that side, these two things are the same thing because it's equal, so I'm doing the same thing. So here I have T minus T is going to be 0, and then I have negative M1G minus negative M2G. It's going to be plus M2G. And here I have minus M1A minus M2A. Well, I left off the A. So I can, and I want to solve for A. So I'll leave this here, and I'm going to factor out the A. Minus M1G plus minus M1 plus M2 G equals A times minus M1 minus M2. And then A is going to be minus M1 M2 plus times G over minus m1 minus m2. Okay, is that going to give me a positive or negative number? Well, remember that m1 is greater. So this is going to, plus that is going to be a negative number. G is positive. So on the top I'm going to get negative, on the bottom I'm going to get negative. So a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay. Let's just go ahead and put it in our values. So we have negative 1.5 plus 0.5 times G, 9.8, over negative 2, right? Because it's negative 1.5 minus 0.5 is 2. And if I put that in my calculator, I can do that probably in my head. It's because it's going to be 9.8 divided by 2 is 4.9, right? So it's going to be 4.9 meters per second squared. Now, there's some other things we can check. Units. Do the units work out? Well, here I have kilograms divided by kilograms times G, and G has units of meters per second squared. That's a check. What if m1 and m2 are the same mass? If m1 and m2 are the same, it's not going to accelerate. And up here you see if m1 is equal to m2, then we get 0 right here, and it wouldn't accelerate. That's good. What if m2 is greater? If m2 is greater, you're going to get a positive number up here divided by a negative down here, and that says it would accelerate in the negative direction. We said it was accelerating that way. Negative is that way. So things are working. Okay, so there's my acceleration of both of those masses. But we need to use that to find the tension. I wanted the tension. So up here I can solve for the tension. T is, I'll use this equation. It's going to be m1, I can factor that out, times G minus A. So this is going to be equal to m1, which is 1.5 kilograms, times 9.8 minus 4.9. And that would be, I'll put that in my calculator because I don't want to make a mistake. It's easy to make a mistake. Drop. 1.5, oops, 5, enter, 9.8, enter, 4.9 minus, times 7.35 newtons. Okay, now for the fun part, what's this tension up here? Now let me go ahead and say that I said this has no rotational mass. Because if that's a pulley and it starts spinning so that these two things can rotate, and the pulley has mass, which it does, I'm really saying there's a mass attached to the pulley. Okay. If the pulley has mass, I have to consider the rotational acceleration of the pulley also, which makes it a little bit more complicated, but let's just say we don't do that. But now we want to find that tension or the force needed to hold the pulley up. So let's draw a free body diagram for the pulley. So here's my pulley. I know I have a gravitational force, I'll call that mpg. And then I have this force pulling it up, I'll call that force of the ceiling. That's what we're trying to find. But this tension also pulls on it. And notice that I'm pulling down on both sides. So the tension over here, there's going to be a tension right here and a tension right there. We get a double whammy of the tension. And if the pulley stays at rest, I can say F net in the y direction is going to be the upwards pulling force minus T minus mpg equals 0. I know T, I know T, I know the mass of the pulley, so Fc is going to be equal to 2T plus mpg, and that's going to be 2 times 7.35 plus 0.3 times 9.8. And we get a value of 2 times, I already got that in there, 0.3 enter 9.8 times 2 plus. And I get 17.64 newtons. And that's the whole thing needed to support the system. And there you go. That was fun. The end.